On the pod again. I can't wait to get on the pod again. Looking at guitars with Steve, my guitar friend.
Hi. What if I just yelled it? That would be so annoying.
Like this. Hum!
Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
That's pretty annoying, yeah. I bet my wife is like, what the hell? The kids are asleep. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, fixing, modding, working, reviewing, playing podcast.
That's true, Steve.
Later
on in this episode, we're going to talk about whether or not, we even need big brand guitars, right? Right? But first,
we're going to talk about this guitar. It's called the Split 6, and the ad copy says Fender USA Split 6. And then in the notes, it says Fender USA Split 6, 3-lay sensor.
Because it is a Fender USA Split 6.
American Standard Stratocaster. And that's all it says. It's 300,000 yen.
You want to take a guess at what that is in US?
This is a 40th anniversary American Fender.
Apparently this is a prototype because they have a proto tag here.
Oh, interesting.
That looks official.
I have no idea. 300,000 yen is...
I bet it's like
$6,000.
No, I think it's under $2,000.
Let's find out.
I think it's under $2,000.
Yen to USD.
I was looking at Henning and Glenn and a couple other people went to Japan after the island, and they were sending me photos of
2230.
2200.
2230.
So just above 2000. They were sending me photos from vintage Yamahas and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was figuring out like the yen conversion.
Yeah, this is like I said, this is built on a 40th anniversary, so about 1994.
So this is close to a concept that you've joked about, is lining up individual pickups underneath individual strings.
Yeah.
Only in this case, it's 2 strings per pickup.
Yeah.
In theory, I don't know. This is a prototype, and looking at it now that it's been done, I don't know if this works, man. Look at how much pickup is underneath the low E. It's not enough.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it too. I want to play with it.
You're right. It probably does not work well, but.
Do we know what year it is? Did we ever figure that out?
1994.
1994. So it's not like it's like a crazy vintage thing. At this point, that's, a 30-year-old guitar. So if it was the 90s and we were talking about a 30-year-old guitar in the 90s, we would definitely be like, oh, that's a vintage guitar. But for some reason, a 90s guitar now doesn't feel vintage.
So this is actually listed on...
It's got no switches or knobs. It's just straight to output.
This is listed on Reverb for 5,000.
I love the color.
Fender's prototype Split 6. It was planned as a commemorative model for the 40th anniversary, but it seems that it was not produced because it was judged that there was no demand for it in the end.
Yeah, no kidding.
As you can see, it has the shape of a Strat, but the controls are unique, probably based on the standard Strat of the time. No volume or tone. Lay sensor pickups are in a unique position. Output jacks are stereo.
Wow.
1 on the 6-string side and 2 on the 1-string side, wired in parallel. According to the previous owner, this was designed to meet the demand for line recording. It's impossible to say for sure whether this is authentic or modified later. As far as the paint and wiring treatment is concerned, I believe it was original Fender. So this gets back into that triple telly thing.
Right.
Like that's what they're saying. Like that's what this was actually in stereo.
Because it lays down 2 tracks at once, so you get paid twice as much.
Yeah. Payola Telecaster.
But does it sound good? Do those 2 tracks sound good?
It depends on if you're good.
Yeah.
If you're good, you're good.
Tone, it's not in the fingers.
It's in the good.
It's in the good. It's in your mind.
It's in your balls.
It's in your ears. And it is in your balls, like Steve said. That is true.
Tone balls.
Tone balls. How toneful are your gonads? Go to the doctor and have them check your gonads for tone fluid.
I was going to say, that's why women are not good at guitar.
They have genitals as well. They have tube tone.
They have toneveries.
Toneveries.
Men have tonesticles and women have toneveries. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Whatever pipes you got going on down there, that's where the tone is found. Yeah. If it's in your toneveries or in your tonesicles, that's where tone is stored, apparently.
I want this to be an actual like Fender thing. I don't want this to be something somebody hacked up.
It says prototype on the tag.
It does, and it says split signal. Oh, I think maybe they're just saying that dual output might be.
Oh no, I don't
know. Not part of the prototype.
I love the color. I love the look of the pickguard without any knobs or switches. It just looks so clean. I want to try it. I don't $2,200 want to try it, or definitely $5,000 want to try it off of Reverb there. If this was in a shop and I had the chance to try it, I would totally put my hands on it and plug it in. It's real pretty. Like they should do this color combo, this misty purple with a parchment guard with yellowed pickups, no knobs. Like I would love this, just a single pickup, no knobs, straight to output, like a single Strat pickup, and I like one of those covered laces. It would look so classy. I'd be into it. Yeah. But yeah, not for $2,200. And I'm not saying it's not worth that. I'm just saying that I'm not going to pull the trigger on that. But I love the look. I think it's really quirky. I think it's really interesting. I have my doubts about how it's going to sound with that low E, almost barely getting towards the center of maybe one pull on that pickup.
Okay, but let's think about this. I don't know what the answer is, right?
Right.
So normally your string passes over a portion of the pickup that is only as wide as the string. So in this case, the low E string, the one you are so concerned about,
that's not the whole issue though.
Is passing over pretty much the same amount of pickup that it normally would.
The issue is that the A string is passing over
the whole pickup
4 times as much pickup as it normally would.
So that's my question: is
they're going to be imbalanced?
Does that make it imbalanced?
Yeah, absolutely. It has.
I've never tested it. I wouldn't know.
There's no way that low E isn't completely drowned out by muddiness from the A,
and presumably the D.
Well, then the
D's got half of one pickup and half of the other pickup. It might be humbucking.
Maybe it's just the angle that we're looking at, but it looks like it's pretty straight on, and it's like, I don't know, the way it's lined up feels suspect to me. But maybe it works. What do I know? Maybe it works out just fine. Maybe it's ideal.
Sounds like a video to test this idea.
I'm never gonna do the work to test. Are you kidding me? Absolutely no way. And I think you could pull off doing the one string per pickup with the horizontally.
If it's fully parallel.
But I think you could do it with hot rails. Get a blade hot rail.
Yeah.
Underneath.
They make those single coil hot rails.
Oh, do they?
Like they make single rail pickups.
Right.
That are small, that are like real tiny.
Well, yeah, you could make a pickup out of half a hot rail.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to try that just to see what it sounds like.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea too. I want to try it. Here's a thought that I've had is a guitar where, like the string moves more at the neck position than it does at the bridge, which is why it's common to be getting more output from your neck pickup and then have to get your bridge pickup closer to the strings. I want a guitar that's got the biggest pickup at the bridge and then each pickup going forward gets smaller and smaller. So humbucker at the bridge, mini bucker in the middle, and then like a single blade of a hot rail in the neck.
Okay.
Or maybe
that drops down pretty fast.
Yeah.
How about?
I guess it could be 4 pickups. It could be humbucker, mini bucker, hot rail, single blade of a hot rail.
What if you use like a baritone so you could have more like a longer, slightly longer body?
You could have all the pickups.
Mudbucker, humbucker, mini humbucker, humbucker, P90, Jazzmaster pickup, mini humbucker, Strat single coil. Dan Electro lipstick. Strat
Did you put a wide range in there?
Oh, you need a wide
Mudbucker, wide ranger, PAF, mini bucker, hot rail, single coil from a hot rail.
Someone designed this.
Photoshop it up, guys. I'm not going to do it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Should people buy this? I don't know. I don't think the price is ridiculous for a 30-year-old prototype guitar that's super duper quirky.
I guess it depends on what site you buy it from.
I think all things considered, that's a cheap collector's guitar. If you're looking to have something weird in your collection, then it checks the boxes. It's weird. It's collectible. You're probably not going to gig with it unless you find out that it sounds amazing.
It's weirdly collectible.
You're going to pull it out at Christmas and holidays and show people like, look at this weird thing that I got. And it's, $2,200 or maybe $5,000, depending on where you buy it, apparently.
There you go.
I'm not upset by the price at all. I just like looking at it. I think it's fun.
I got nothing else.
All right, let's move on.
This part of the show is called housekeeping. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, as seen here or in the description. And you can support the making of this program and other things on this channel, but mostly this program, for as little as $1 a month.
Only $1 a month, Steve?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You could support this channel and all the content that we make for only $1 a month.
We've got a few tiers with different levels of reward, but really the minimum is $1. And you know what? We've talked about this before. Patreon says that we should raise that minimum to $3.
You know what?
Not going to happen. I'm going to make a $3 level that is the same. It's like the $1 level with added bragging rights, but you don't get anything for it.
What if you chose?
It's like the mini brag.
What if you chose to give up one trip to Starbucks per month?
Per month.
Think about how, like, taking that money, sending it our way, and then when you show up to the office, when you show up to work, just wrecked, not awake at all, unable to function, and your coworkers, your boss, your employees are like, what is up with you? Why are you so terrible right now? You look like you're just having an awful time. Say, it's Ryan and Steve's fault. What about that scenario? Consider working that into your life, huh? Just, what is that? You must spend like $18, $47 a time. You go to Starbucks, so one of those times,
it's
pledge
like
that.
$5.50.
I don't know how much coffee costs.
All right, this show is also brought to you by Stringjoy.
That's right. Strings made on their own machines in Nashville, Tennessee.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
Where musicians live.
They're playing on stages worldwide, but they're made in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, they have their own machines. They bought their own machines and started making their own strings. And you know how many string companies have their own machines? Like 4, maybe.
Yeah. There's a link in the description of this video. There's a code. It's HUM. You get 10% off. It's basically a really good deal. Go check them out.
10% off. And if you use that code HUM, then they know that you came from us. And that makes us look good. And that makes us like you even more.
I mean, if they click the link, they'll also know that we sent them.
Right.
Anyway, this episode's also brought to you by Bigger Pedals. They make this. We got to remember to sign those posters tonight.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that right after this episode. Hopefully we won't forget.
If you want to know about unique product launches like the Wacka or when other things at Big Ear Pedals are in stock, get on their mailing list, follow them on socials, do the thing, biggerpedals.com.
I need to put that on my gigging board.
I don't know if they are in stock as of like this, when this episode will air, but at least the last I looked, they did have some B-stock Albies. And they had a handful of other pedals in their store that are currently in stock. So
go check that out.
All right. This next ad.
Oh, yeah.
Is from Benjamin Privet.
We got ourselves a flamey guitar here. Hot guitar.
Fender Akai. This guitar, guitar, super rare, custom flame Inferno, one of a kind, rare. Fender, Akai, Yamaha, Gibson.
It's all of those things.
A real buyer. Call the numbers. Dial a 1. Carat.
Yeah, I don't even
9
bother
-2.
trying to read
What
that.
the fuck?
I have no idea.
Are you just supposed to be? Is it 1-92521438866? I don't know.
They're trying to get around Craigslist, trying to block them from putting a phone number.
I
which is stupid.
don't reply to text or email. Guitar Ibanez custom flame, $1,500. No low ballers. I'm pretty sure this isn't an Ibanez either.
Or an Akai, or a Yamaha, or a Gibson.
It does have an Ibanez bridge in it and a DiMarzio pickup apparently.
They're just putting in keywords trying to get someone to be interested in this thing. Who knows who it's made by, but it's not any of those companies. Because pick out a detail on this that makes you think, oh yeah, Ibanez made this.
Well, the bridge says Ibanez on it.
Does it? Where?
Right there.
Oh, you got a close-up photo there. I didn't even see
It
that.
says Ibanez.
Well, then it's got an Ibanez part to it. Maybe
I think it's just an Ibanez part. I don't think Ibanez made that.
Looking at the details, I mean, maybe it started out as an Ibanez headstock and someone modified it.
Nah.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's not a
Let's see. Ibanez flame guitar.
There's not enough wood in an Ibanez headstock to pull that
Wait,
off.
what? Did Ibanez?
Holy hell, we're just going to find out. We're finding out live right now that this is an Ibanez guitar. But what does the headstock look like on it?
It looks like an Ibanez headstock.
Yeah, see?
But this one's like real close, and it's called Ibanez RG97 2001 Christopher Wood's first Vi flame guitar. But it's got an
Are
Ibanez.
you looking at like a crazy prototype? Show me what the neck heel looks like. Now, see, like, I look at this. This is some sort of Gibson-y thing, and someone got an aftermarket Ibanez.
I agree. I think this is more than likely some kind of Gibson-y thing.
And then someone slapped their preferred pickups and an Ibanez bridge on it they found on eBay. And you never know, though. Like, what if we're super duper wrong and this is like the serial number 000000 prototype?
It's the original.
Yeah, it's the original
prototype.
that the rest were all based on, sort of thing. But that neck heel is screaming not Ibanez at all. Like, there's never been an Ibanez neck ever that has that fretboard hang over there. Like, come on.
I can't even find another flame guitar that has that specific neck heel thing going on.
I do kind of like the body shape on this more than that Ibanez that you showed me, though. And the white humbucker does look killer on that red flamey burst. Like, that just looks great. And even the aged Ibanez trim, like that Floyd Rose, looks great. Like, it looks like one of those pawn shop guitars. Like, yeah, I gotta touch this thing. I gotta try this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting real strong Gibson vibes from this.
$1,500, man, in Pittsburgh.
You mean I got to get $100 15 times to buy this?
Yes.
And I got to go to Pittsburgh?
Or you got to get $15 100 times.
And it's going to take me at least a dozen times to figure out what this guy is trying to get me to do with a phone number here. Like, which of these are the correct numbers? You know?
I think the numbers are the correct numbers.
And everything else is just filler?
Yes.
I hate it. I hate that. Just, let me email you. You're on a computer.
I'm right. This is the thing that drives me nuts with Facebook or like all Craigslist for years is I don't reply to text or email.
You're on a computer.
I actually, when I do Craigslist, I don't give out my phone number until I'm ready to like transact.
I don't give out my phone number ever.
You just do it 100% over email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mostly you don't need to call me.
I pretty much do it all through Telegram and WhatsApp. So every time I try to give away a prize on the channel through Telegram or WhatsApp, no one ever reaches out to me.
That's always real. You're always like, hey, this is 60 cycle hum, and you won. I'm gonna give you a flame guitar. It's worth $1,500.
I use a lot of emojis.
Hit me up on Telegram and I'll send you my WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Congratulations, you won. It's actually been a while since that scam was perpetrated on our channel.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I did go way out of my way to like try to block all the keywords, but those keywords just send it to the held for publishing. So we would still see them.
All right.
So yeah, maybe YouTube finally did something about it. I don't know.
Hope so. Jeez, you'd think they could have fixed stuff like that overnight. Like anytime there's like a new account, or like an account changes its name and is spamming people the same comment over and over and over again, and saying stuff about Telegram, you'd think they would be able to catch that, like just with a simple algorithm. It would just be like, hey, this behavior, catch it every single time.
You would think with Google has a reverse image search function,
right?
It's almost like YouTube should be running reverse image search functions on platform. I mean, I guess that gets into the whole like profile verification thing.
Anytime an account assumes the artwork that is similar to the thumbnail of another channel, like that should get flagged. You know?
Right.
We don't need to spend the evening complaining about this particular thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. All this technology that we have, and they can't solve that stuff in a day.
Good grief.
Doesn't make sense to me.
You got anything else?
Now, I don't know if anyone should buy this for $1,500. It's a cool shape. I'm sure it's more affordable than the real deal. I have no way of knowing if this is a decent playing guitar. I have no idea where it was made, who it was made by. It looks like it's got some decent parts thrown into it. Maybe those pickups and the bridge will make it worth it to someone, at least worth going to check out. They want to go hold it and kick the tires. I don't know. If this is your thing, you want to play hot licks with a guitar that looks like it's made out of flame, I mean, this is your chance. I don't have any other critique.
This is from AliExpress.
There you go. I knew it.
I think all the parts, that means all the parts are fake.
You think that's a fake Ibanez bridge? It looks aged. Like even the tuners look kind of dusty and aged.
Yeah, man, check this out. Oh, that doesn't have the stamp on it.
I'm telling you, I think someone bought a Chibson or an AliExpress
and put in an actual DiMarzio.
They upgraded parts. Yeah, I think they put in the DiMarzio because the single coil is not marked, but that bridge pickup is definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe that's the case. I just
look at the pole pieces. You know, like the pole pieces on the single coil look like your standard cheap ceramic, single coil. And then the DiMarzio pole pieces, they look legit. They actually look kind of aged too. And that bridge and the tuners have that misty, aged look to them. So that is my suspicion. Like even the locking nut looks like it came off of an aged guitar. The rest, no. The rest looks brand spanking AliExpress new. So someone bought this for their cover band or whatever, and now they're done with it.
And now,
how much is the one on AliExpress?
500.
Yeah, I don't think there's $1,000 markup here because of the parts included. So now we have something to talk about. Don't buy it for that price. Get one off of AliExpress instead for $500.
I mean, it's even got like the same red.
No, that's it. The neck heel thing.
Yeah.
That's the giveaway.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Don't buy it for $1,500. Offer this guy, if you wanted to buy this one local,
$200.
No, because it's got some nice parts on there.
$250. It's gonna have to have a bridge anyway. Tell him to put the original bridge back, and you'll buy it for $200.
All right. I think offering $550 for it as it is, if you want this shape.
Ryan, it's $500 new. Why would you pay more?
Because it's got premium upgraded parts.
It's used.
I'm saying it's a side grade.
Then why does it cost more?
It's $500 new?
$500 new.
Okay, then $500 new.
You're side grading and it's gaining $50.
No, I said okay. I missed. I mean offer $500 so that they can recoup, what they paid for it off of AliExpress, but then you're gaining their mistake of putting the parts on there.
All right.
It's at least that's a decent place to start the conversation.
Ryan.
Yeah.
We were supposed to talk about this like a month ago.
No, and I feel so bad about it. We went to the They Might Be Giants show right before NAMM, and then all our talking NAMM kind of eclipsed it all, and it slipped our minds. But it was an amazing show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it rained.
It rained.
It was like drizzling.
But it was like there was something kind of romantic about that.
Yeah, we made out.
Steve and I kissed a little bit.
We didn't. It's not true.
So what happened is They Might Be Giants had a show scheduled here pre-COVID, and then COVID happened, and they had to cancel the tour.
Yeah.
And so everyone that had bought tickets has been sitting on their tickets for a couple of years now. Mm-hmm. So they re-announced the tour, and then they added dates because they had already sold out, dates before it was canceled. They added dates on their tour to sell more tickets to pad out the tour. And so they added a date to the San Diego stop. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to buy some tickets for Lauren and I, and we're going to go. And so those of you who don't know, John has been listening to the podcast.
John F. Because
John at Flansburgh.
They're both John.
They're both John. That's right.
Yeah,
John Flansburgh has been a 60 Cycle Hum listener. Hi, John. For years and years and years now, which I try not to think about it because it makes me feel really self-conscious and intimidated that, like a musical hero of my youth is listening to this dumb thing that I do on the internet. But I shot him an email. I'm like, hey, looking forward to seeing you guys. We've just bought tickets. And he replied not too long after that. It's like, oh, hey, that's fantastic. Like, let me know if you want to get any friends on like a guest list, and we'll like put you in the VIP section. And I was like, well, shoot, I'm not going to turn down that offer. It was going to be a date with me and my wife, but now we're going to bring friends into the mix. And so I opened it up to you and your wife and Steve and his wife.
I'm Steve.
You're Steve. And the wives couldn't do it, but you and Adam came. And then my friend Shane came along as well, owner of HAWT, one of my favorite burger places here in town. And we all went as a group to go see They Might Be Giants, and we got to stand in the VIP section, which is like a balcony. It was an outdoor show, and it was raining.
The VIP was interesting, but I've been in other VIPs that are like just side stage. Like, so it's actually kind of weird because you're really close, but you're also like looking like they are performing out.
Right.
And you're looking at like the side of their heads the entire time.
I had a question in my head the whole time.
Yeah. What was your question?
And I knew Lauren's answer. So it was like, well, I'm just going to stay here. I was like, is this the best place to be for this show? Because we're pretty far away, but we were, elevated. Mm-hmm. We weren't crowded. We had plenty of room to like kind of stretch out and kind of not be worried about bumping into each other and feeling like elbow to elbow with everyone and stuff. There was something very nice about that experience, but part of me wonders like if I would have had more fun, squeezing up to the front.
I mean, I think for everyone it's different. I would have liked to have, if the VIP section was somehow closer. But that being said, I did like appreciate, because I'm more of a like,
we didn't have to stay there, but we did.
No, we didn't.
We were obviously having a great time. And I know that Lauren preferred being up there too. She's not, like a get in the pit at the concert type of person. And also there were bar stools up there, so we were able to sit and stuff.
I would say like I'm more of a casual fan. Like I own like 2 of their albums, one of which is just a compilation.
I rent most of their albums, but I own a couple.
Do you rent to own?
As a lease.
And I'm saying like that, so I don't like.
Sure.
Like. So this was the Flood tour.
Yeah,
I had never listened to Flood all like from.
Why did I even
invite you?
Right? Why were you there?
So it's like I knew like the big songs off of that album, but I didn't know. So I didn't know a lot of like the other songs that aren't. Basically, I didn't know any of the songs that weren't Birdhouse or Istanbul.
Oh, I didn't know all their new material because they were sneaking some new material in. But everything off of Flood is just like, oh my gosh, I've listened to this album probably 1,000 times,
So I think that for me, like it was a good spot to be because I could kind of just enjoy the music, but I didn't feel like, oh, I'm surrounded by super fans. I mean, there were people who were just like dressed up as like characters from their music videos.
Right.
So like there was like a guy in an orange jumpsuit. I'm pretty sure that's a music video reference. I don't know which one.
I mean, They Might Be Giants is one of those bands where it's like the fandom is gonna skew pretty nerdy.
There was like a kid in a tuxedo.
Yeah. People were dressing up. They were,
and literally like kids. Like that was one of the cool things about that show is it's like not like literal children, but like
the demographic range was wild.
Yeah, we're there. I figured most of the people there were probably going to be like our age or older, and they probably were.
Well, it's a band that spans so many generations. Like it is like a far backside of Gen X or maybe young side of Boomers reach all the way back through their history.
Yeah.
All the way up through, like, they're all over the Disney Channel.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they did all the music for, like, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're all over, like, kids' music.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, like, there were definitely a number of people I saw there where I'm like, you're not old enough to drink, are you?
Right. No, totally.
Or maybe, they were
just
like
barely
23, 24.
College kids and stuff like that.
Exactly. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So my side quest for the night is you didn't meet up with us, but Lauren and I and Adam and Shane, we went and got Mexican food before we went to like a sit down restaurant, and we're sitting there like, we're kind of strapped for time, like we don't really have time to sit and like pour over the menu. Let's try to figure this out quickly. And Shane was getting fajitas, and I look around at the table, I look at Lauren and Adam, and I was like, should we all get fajitas? And everyone was like, let's all get fajitas. And we didn't just get fajitas, we all got the exact same fajitas because there's like 4 different fajitas on the menu.
So was it like all steak, all chicken?
No, it was the mix. It was steak, it was chicken, and it was bacon wrapped shrimp, which was divine.
That seems a little extreme. But
it was like, if I could just
like
order
I would go for
a plate of those bacon wrapped shrimp and bring it to like a Super Bowl party, I would be a hero. They were amazing. But the spectacle of ordering 4 fajitas and all 4 of them came out at the same time. Like everyone in the restaurant turned and looked at us, and they all started like rising to their feet and just like it started as a slow clap, and then everyone's just like, yeah, and cheering for us as we ate our fajitas, and they're just sizzling and steam is flying everywhere. No one actually noticed. No one cared.
John Bender started walking through the room. Simple Minds came on over the house speakers, which is weird because it was Miguel's, and usually they play like flamenco music over the speakers, but all of a sudden, don't you forget about me.
But the problem with that is I absolutely stuffed myself with fajitas and table chips and salsa and tortillas, and I was on the edge of throwing up like most of the concert. Man. And because we were in the VIP section paid off.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Because you didn't get jostled.
No, I just didn't. I not only didn't get jostled, I also had quick escapes if I needed it.
Right.
Also, we were on this balcony that wrapped around over to the harbor because it was Humphreys by the Bay, which is like right on the bay. And I kept going over to this balcony that was going over the bay and like gripping the rail and getting like that gross like hyper saliva that happens right before you throw up and feeling that burp happen where it's like, you start to lurch a little bit, like I'm about to throw up fajitas into the bay.
were the ushers like looking at you and being like, "What the hell?"
I was no. So Did
you go like back behind the building?
Yeah, over far to the left that wrapped around. There was like security down around the corner that if I started throwing up, they would have seen. They would have noticed. I could still see the stage from there. I could look across and I could still see the Johns playing their songs. I'm over there while they're playing Birdhouse in Your Soul, like gripping the rail, like, oh man, I'm so happy to be here. There was because there's like the boat slips, the docks with everyone's like boats over there. There's sailboats and stuff. And there was a guy standing on the dock, like watching the show. And I'm like That guy is definitely going to notice if I start throwing up. Like, he's going to hear it hitting the water. Because, like, the balcony is, like, a good 20 feet off the water.
Yeah, yeah.
So when it hits, it's just going to be splash, 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 splash,
Oh,
splash,
my gosh.
splash. And it's going to be fajita chunks, you know?
Horrible.
Thankfully, I didn't throw up, but I was, like, on edge for most of the show. So I had a memorable time, and it was raining, which was, like I said earlier, was strangely romantic. I think the band had it a lot worse than the people in the audience.
Oh, for sure.
Because it was coming from behind the audience, but then flying directly into the stage, and you could tell that they were just having a rough time.
Well, and it was kind of gnarly because so this show was on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that weekend. It was like 80s up where I live, so probably 70s down here. And then that day, I don't think it got above 60 the entire day.
Right.
Like the marine layer never burned off.
That's only a few degrees above freezing in San Diego.
Like that basically is freezing in San Diego. Well, I mean, when you think like, oh, winter, like we just had the breakthrough weather weekend. Winter's over, and then it just goes straight back to like just kidding.
It was that like early spring, like tease, and then wasn't spring anymore. It was back to winter feelings for stuff. But it was this light, kind of
chupacabra
misty,
came out and saw its shadow.
kind of like misty drizzle that felt kind of moody. And for San Diegans, like, you know, like experiencing weather is a treat for us because it's so exotic. You know, a little bit of wet weather really doesn't bother us because, you know, it's a treat. We don't get that often. But I think it's
like rice-a-roni. This is a San Francisco treat.
The band, I mean, they did excellent. It didn't sound, they didn't play like they were troubled by it at all. But you could tell that they were probably like, what the hell? We're in San Diego. Why is this weather miserable for us right now? And everything, all our instruments are wet. Hopefully insurance covers this, you know, this keyboard and stuff, you know? So anyways, sorry that it took us a month to get around to telling the tale. It's still fresh in our minds though.
Yeah.
Had an excellent time. It was a great night. I bought a shirt and I wore it at NAMM, and people at NAMM were like, "Oh, were you at the show?"
Oh yeah, people were real excited about that shirt.
Yeah, they were more excited about the shirt than seeing me.
I got socks, and I got a vinyl.
I got a vinyl too.
I don't have a record player, but I got a vinyl.
I have a record player, but it's not set up right now. I need to finish getting that set up. We're building a new little like console table for a record player situation, so I need to wrap that up. I just got grill cloth for it because it's gonna have speakers on the side, sort of thing. Cool. I should post pictures of that when it's done. I'll do that. Yeah, show off my little record cabinet that I'm working on, hobbling it together. It's gonna be cute, but it's also gonna be like kind of ghetto.
All right, let's open some mail.
Yeah, we got mail here. You open the letter, I'll open this big boy here. Here is the address to our UPS box. If you want to send us mail, you know, as long as it's legal and safe and it's not going to get you or anyone else in trouble, send us whatever you want to. Stickers, CDs, albums, handwritten notes.
Here's a couple alien guitar picks.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Ryan and Steve. I collect picks and was hoping to trade with you to get a 60 cycle hum pick or maybe a dinosaur ghost pick. Thanks, Greg. Ooh. I don't think there are dinosaur ghost picks.
There aren't, but that would be great.
Oh, he sent this is Greg Scott. He sent a self-addressed stamped return envelope. So I will take this.
You know what? I've got 2 Ryan used 60 cycle hum picks right here. One in very rare and very worn pink. I'm going to slide these.
Do you have any that aren't worn out?
Dude, these have been used on this show. You don't think he wants these?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wants to use them.
If you've got fresh ones at home, throw them into the mix, Steve, and send it. This is a great way to do things.
This one, you know what? This one's pretty fresh.
Yeah. The pink one is a collector's item, okay?
Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to seal this up.
I probably chewed on it. You could probably clone me by extracting my DNA out of it. Look at those cute little alien pics there. Well, they're either cute or terrifying, depending on your previous experience with aliens. I like that system. Like, maybe we should have a pile of stickers and pics, and if people send us a self-addressed and stamped postage. We just throw it in the mail.
If we do that, you might need to order a lot of stickers.
I'll do it.
All right. You can put this in your mailbox tomorrow.
I'll put that in my mailbox tomorrow.
You just showed his address to everybody.
I'll blur it out. You think people are going to be able to read it?
Yeah, they're going to pause it and they're going to zoom in, especially when you're just going to hold it there forever.
Oh. I like that you have our our address memorized, yep. Steve. I don't.
Serious business. So this is a book I found out about on Twitter.
Wait, did you order this?
I didn't order it. Sully.
Complete guitar wiring.
Sully made a post about it, and I liked it, and they reached out and said, hey, do you want to check it out? So this book is called Complete Guitar Wiring by Jerry Haze. Forward by Dan Erlewine. Dan Erlewine is a legend in guitar tech.
Legend, and he's not even real.
Not that kind of legend. Like he's one of the OG StewMac kind of guys.
Wow, this is wild.
This is a lot more in depth than I thought it was going to be.
Like stuff about pickup winding in here.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that it would require an entire thick book to cover all this information. I guess everything that because it covers every single guitar ever. Like here's a Mustang wiring diagram. And here's a P-Bass 51. And there's the wiring for the shielding in a guitar. Wow, this is a Fret King Cat, which just looks like, I mean, it's a 2 humbucker thing, but I guess
it's got a varicoil.
Unique wiring situation. Gibson Les Paul 1950s wiring. This looks exhaustive. Like,
yeah, it's
got everything. That's wild. Rickenbacker 4003. And I always just go to SeymourDuncan.com or whatever, but this is the sort of thing where if you have this on your shelf and you're a tech, you open it up and you can make notes. You can be like, I prefer it with try this capacitor, or try, you sketch out your own little thing, and it becomes like your guitar wiring Bible. Blower switches. Okay, there's all sorts of mods. Oh, this whole purple section here is modifications.
Huh.
Fender TBX tone control. Oh, this looks like this is really interesting stuff. Passive treble and bass tone. All right, treble bleed options. Interesting. Coil splitting. I needed that the other day. Adding a ground wire to Telecaster pickups.
So this book is, let's see, where's that's the name. The brand is, the folks who got in contact with me, it's Haze Guitar, but it's actually Haze Guitar, it's Haze, but his name is Jerry Haze. I'm trying to see if you can buy this on the website.
Yeah, what's the price for it?
He says, at the end it says, complete guitar wiring will be available from here at Haze Guitars as a digital download for $40. A print version will be available on Amazon and costs vary. Right now I'm seeing it on Amazon. This version, the paperback, is on sale right now for $37.35.
How much was the digital download?
$40. So this is actually cheaper than the digital. And I would say, like you said, this is a great shelf reference.
No, if I was going to pay for this, I'd want the physical thing, because then you can put Post-it notes in it. You can draw on the pages. You can make little notes. It's going to be a hard reference that you can have in front of you.
How do pots work?
How do pots work? I like it. And all the diagrams look like they're really well done. The print is nice and big on it too, so you can have it on the table kind of far away while you're working on the guitar. You don't have to have...
I think you know what? I know a lot of this information is available online if you dig.
every time. Okay.
You know what else? You know what else is also all available online now is basically everything that you will find in a Haynes manual. But when you're laying on your back, or maybe you're on your workbench and you want to wire something up, sometimes like going to a phone reference, I find phones really good for like, oh, I need to watch a YouTube video on how to do a thing. But sometimes just sitting down with something that's like a diagram, that's physical.
And also
a lot of these diagrams are on Seymour, like this style of diagram could be available on Seymour Duncan's website. I always print those because it's hard for me to work off of like my phone or a small screen that I'm going to take out to my bench.
Wake up your phone. This is perfect.
You lay this out here. Maybe like if I'm having trouble with the weight, put a pedal on there to hold the book open and do your work.
There's also something. There's also something to be said for a consistent reference.
Yeah,
where like every single time that I do a coil split or some wiring that I've done before, but I don't quite remember how I did it because the last time I did it was a year ago or something like that.
Yeah. I
have to search for it again, and I pull up some resources like, I don't think this is the one I worked off of last time. You have this on your shelf. It's the same reference every single time. And like I said, you write notes. Excuse me. Oh, it's having a burp and a sneeze at the same
Sullivan's
time.
on the Sully's on the quote on the back.
Nice. I want to say right now, I'm not a fan of hooks on headstocks. Sully is one of the very few builders I've seen pull it off. Like for some reason, his hook on his headstock just works. And I think it's because of the style of builds that he does, but it's also a nice, subtle little hook. So Sully, if you're listening out there, or if someone tells Sully, like, I appreciate your headstocks. I dog on hooks on headstocks like bottle openers, but it's not enough of a hook to be a bottle opener, in my opinion. It's like when it pushes into that full bottle opener territory, that's when it starts catching my eye weird. He does it right. Like if you're going to do a hook on a headstock, go study Sully's headstock shape.
I'll have a link to the page.
Did I tell you that I had a dream about Sully?
No, are you going to tell the story right now?
No, I had a dream that I hired Sully to make me a heavy metal Moserite.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
That would be cool. I didn't wake up and want to follow through on it, but it's like, it was a fun dream.
All right, Brian, I have bad news.
Okay, tell me.
This is going to be a long episode. This episode is brought to you by, this isn't bad news. This episode is brought to you by Chaseless Audio. This is the Mood Mark II.
Yeah, it is. It's purple.
They make lots of other things. If you want, actually, I don't know. Maybe they're all gone now, but the Mood version ones went on sale for 30% off.
Oh, did they?
I can't imagine there's any left, but it's worth checking. If you don't want all of the features of the Mood Mark II, I thought about getting a version 1, but everything I've read about the Mark II just makes it sound like the original version's not worth it. I don't know.
Here's what I'll say. The version 1 is great. It's fantastic. I've spent maybe a couple hours with this playing on my own. It's definitely a lot smoother as far as like kind of the data sweep goes on the clock stuff. On the version 1, it gets into gritty lo-fi stuff and like grindy kind of bit sounds and stuff. The Mood version 2 doesn't do that. So if you want the gritty bit crush sort of thing, then the version 1 is one that you absolutely do need to get. Well, if you want a more smoother effect, then the version 2 is the way to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So go check it out, chasebliss.com. This episode is also brought to them.
To all of us.
By Pickup Music. The Pickup Music's an online guitar learning platform.
Steve has been using it. He knows how to play guitar now.
I really like it. I wouldn't say I know how to play guitar, but I understand more things about guitar, which is important.
Steve is getting caged.
I think the thing for me that's important is I've realized as I've gotten older, like guitar is one thing I never really tried to like analyze. And I definitely have a very like analytical approach to things. So this is really helpful with that. The platform that's like basically it's designed for intermediate and advanced guitarists. I would never call myself an intermediate guitarist, I guess. I always felt like I was on the front end of that.
You mean the beginning end of that?
Like on the beginning side of intermediate, but it's very broad. The stuff I started with basically requires you to know a C chord, an A chord, a G chord, an E chord, and a D chord, and you're good to go. And like how to bar some things.
I would classify you as a happy hobbyist.
That's fair. Each of the lessons is broken down into 6 grades. So I've completed one of the grades for the caged system, and
you're moving into
I'll
second
be
grade.
Moving into second grade. I'll be going through all of them.
Second grade is a big deal, Steve. That's
each-
where like things really get figured out.
They're all broken down into daily lessons. Some of them are pretty short, so you could probably do a couple lessons a day if you were like really itching for it.
like could you do a lesson on like a Tuesday night?
Yeah.
How many lessons could you bust out on a Saturday?
Oh, I mean, so yesterday, Tuesday, I spent like maybe an hour doing it. I had already done a bunch of the lessons, and the thing that I needed to do, which is actually what I was about to talk about, is they offer personalized feedback. You can ask questions and stuff, but one of the things that you can do is when you get to the end of the grade, there's performance pieces. So you can film yourself. They actually like say like, hey, if you want, film yourself recording the performance piece, send it to us, and we'll give you some feedback. So I actually got to do that, and that's a really cool feature.
That is
I
fun.
spent like an hour.
That's a personal touch.
Oh my God. This stupid piece, it was like 2.5 minutes long, and I wanted to make a good video. So I just sat there, and I swear I must have done like 20 takes of this thing at least.
There's your practice right there. Just the act of forcing you to make a video is going to make you.
I know, like there's
practice.
like a lot. There's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot of lessons there. It's $14.99 a month, but you get to try it for free, full access for 14 days.
2 weeks.
So like I was saying, like some of these lessons packed, like in 2 weeks, you can do a lot of damage. You're obviously like, I think 2 weeks is a good amount of time to get in there, get as much as you can, and decide like, is this what I want to help me on my guitar journey? It's definitely a super useful tool. You think about it, $15 a month is 50 cents a day.
If I haven't had a chance to be on there yet.
Yeah,
I will check it out when I have a chance. I want to film myself and let them critique me. So you've been able to check it out for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
If someone did it, let's say 4 lessons a week,
sure,
on a free trial.
that's what I was trying to do. It's about four lessons a week.
So they get realistically 8 lessons in their 2-week free trial.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a pretty expansive amount of material left over?
So the whole thing's broken down into days, right? I think each grade is basically 1 day. Like the grades are designed to be completed in 1 week. So if you're only doing 4 lessons a week, you're basically going to, in your 2-week period, you're going to complete 1 grade. Now, depending on what you're looking for, that might be a lot of material that's remedial. Like for me, like the cage stuff was a little bit remedial, but it was also really good to like see it laid out in a way that I hadn't thought about it. So that made it challenging. But if I was to go into the blues, like the blues masterclass, which I probably shouldn't, my guess is I'm not good enough.
Well, we don't need to risk there being a new Bonamassa on the scene. There's only so much room in this world for a blues master.
If I went into that and I'd spent did 4 lessons a week on that, I think I would get a really good sense of like where I was going. I think 2 weeks is a good amount of time to like get a really good sense of what's going on. And if you do 1 a day, you're going to complete 2 grades. Or maybe you do grade 1 of blues and grade 1 of neo soul.
Okay. So if you're doing a lesson a day, you're going to do a grade a week.
Yeah, something like that.
And how many grades are there?
6 per.
Okay,
so pathway. They're called pathways.
You could essentially complete the entire course in a couple months.
Yeah.
And you get the first 2 weeks free.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds compelling. I want to check it out.
I think it's really cool. I've enjoyed what I've done so far. It's gotten me back into not aimlessly thinking like, what song did I hear on the radio today that I want to learn? Like it's given me a little bit more direction.
Sure.
And that, so yeah, I think it's been beneficial for me for sure.
Do you feel upset at all that you're not self-taught anymore?
I mean, in
You
a
feel
way, like,
shamed.
if you take online lessons, are you no longer self-taught? That's a good question, right?
I think you are. I don't think you're self-taught anymore because you sent a video and they critiqued you.
Ah,
Yeah,
right.
you have an official teacher.
Does that
now.
mean you're not? Were you ever self-taught?
I think the majority of what I do is self-taught, but then it's like, I didn't, all the knowledge that I have came from other places.
Right, but you put videos on the internet and people critique you.
That's true. I'm self-taught. No, I've been given lessons now. I've been taken to school many times by commenters.
I was going to say, check it. We got a link in the whatever.
Yeah, no, whatever. Down below. Go click the link.
Go click the link.
Yeah, go check. Get your 2-week free trial. If you got some time to do some lessons, check out the free trial and then cancel it. Don't get charged. Cancel it if you don't like it or if you don't see any value in it.
Or
give
it
a shot.
Hopefully you like it.
It'll help us if you check out the free trial. So give it a shot.
All right, man. You ready to hit this topic?
I am. Let's. You're right. This is going to be a long episode. We're 55 minutes in. Let me pull up the screen grab so that we get all the wording right here. There she is. Lucas Lee asked, "Is it worth buying a big name guitar, Fender, Gibson, etc., when so many more affordable options, Squier, Epiphone, etc., are such good quality instruments? If so, when and why?" So there's the direction that the question goes, that Lucas goes, is like, yeah, do you need to buy name brand Fender, Gibson when the sub brands exist, and the sub brands are very good. Your Squiers, your Epiphones, so on. Your Sterlings are really fun guitars. There's all sorts of brands that have sub brands. There's also a bunch of brands that exist that are close to those prices without having a sub brand, like that Guild that I've been covering. That's a $700 guitar. That's it's more than a Squier, but it's less than a Fender.
Schecter is historically well known for their sub 1,000.
But you could also look at this through the lens of like, you could spend $2,200 on a USA Fender. Or you could also find a small builder, a boutique builder, and go way off of the beaten path as far as brand name goes. You could get a guitar that no one else in your neighborhood has heard of before.
Yeah.
And I think we live in, not to get too far ahead of the topic right out of the gate, but I think we live in a pretty incredible time when it is easy to find all these other brands and find information letting you know if they're worthwhile. And I really there's no reason to not check out those brands. Like, there's an allure to name brands. What are the perks to going name brand Fender, Gibson, Ibanez, etc.? I think resale value is easy to resell. A Fender. It's easy to resell a Gibson and so on because people know what they're getting into.
There's something like you got you got a Player Plus back here,
right?
You got this 80s MIJ Jag, right?
Yeah.
Either of those you could sell on Reverb. You could list it tonight and it would sell by the morning if the price was right.
It's not even about the time that it takes, but it's just like no one's going to have big questions, and if it is, it's going to be like, oh, was there, what's been replaced on these or whatever.
Sure.
It's not going to be like, I don't know anything about that brand. What is that?
Yeah.
It's easy to resell name brand guitars because people can look at the models. There's plenty of information out there. There's plenty of other people on the internet who have personal experiences with those models and can share that information. Where it's like, the smaller brand you go and the more obscure you go, the less information there is and the less sure you are in what you're buying. So those are elements of why you would want to go a big name brand, because you'll be sure of what you're buying and the resale value is there.
Yeah.
But as far as like playable guitars go, and guitars that will work for you, and guitars that'll sound good and will last the test of time, I mean, there's no reason a Squier or an Epiphone won't last the test of time.
Right.
There's no parts on a guitar that go bad. They're not made out of cheese. They're not dairy products. They're not fish. Like if you wear out a Squier, you're probably going to wear out a USA Fender.
Right. I mean, I guess the only thing with that is like if you wear out a Squier, the cost of a fret job is going to be like 2/3 of the cost of the
Right.
original guitar. Whereas like refretting an American Fender, it's like, it almost feels like, well, it's just an expensive oil change.
Right.
You know,
it's maintenance
it's maintenance.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't necessarily be a driver for the purchase. And I think whether or not where you go with this is very dependent on, I almost want to say like it depends on purpose. And maybe this is like too specific of an example. But I saw on Gear Talk Praise and Worship, it's back to its original name again. Somebody said that they've been the guitar player at this church for 10 years. They've been a volunteer, presumably a volunteer there the whole time. And the church has decided, or the staff at that church has decided, that they want to buy this guy a $3,000 guitar.
Oh, wow.
Anything he wants for $3,000. And a lot of, so he's like, what should I consider? I've never like been in this kind of price range. What should I consider? And my thought with that was actually, and this was my suggestion, was like, go buy the oldest Gibson or Fender that you can get. Like, this is your opportunity to get into
An investment
like
piece.
an investment piece. And I don't think like there is resale value. And I'm not saying that you should think resale value. This is maybe a unique position where I would say like,
Well, in that scenario, it's like you don't want to buy something that you're not going to use.
sure, but
within the,
but at
you
thi-
know,
at
because
this point,
it's a work purchase to a certain extent, where it's like
Right.
it is a gift, but it's also like we want, you know, the
I think part of that though is like right now a $3,000 Fender is like a 1978 Telecaster or
Right.
like a 1982 Gibson Les Paul. Like, you're not getting anything that's so old that you wouldn't want to play it out.
Right,
I think
right.
you're still going to get like a lot of
you
guitar,
can still get a player's guitar, yeah.
but
A
still be
workhorse.
like a workhorse instrument that you're not like, it's not like, you know, a 65 Jazzmaster or something. And even that's only probably about what, $6 grand. I think we talked about that not too long ago. And that's the thing that's going to continue, that is like a proven, I don't like to think about it this way, but it's like a proven
right.
value.
You're not gonna lose money.
Yeah.
You know, like the guitar market would have to change incredibly dramatically for you to lose money on an investment guitar like that. I mean, like my gut, if I was in that situation, is I'd be going straight to like a Cower or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, in long term, like
The
the resaleability and the collectability, as far as it would stand up against a vintage Fender or Gibson or other name brand established guitar, is debatable. Absolutely.
This is a really dumb distinction.
Uh-huh.
But like my mindset on this is, if somebody said, I want to buy this for you, then I'm thinking more about investment piece. But if I'm buying it, then I think I'm going to go, like you said, like I'm going to go with a Cower or maybe, a Grez or whatever.
Weirdly, I feel
Get a Balaguer.
Weirdly, I feel reversed on that, because the intention of the purchase is for use. I would be buying with use first, and I would also be thinking about it in terms of passing the buck. You know, like I'm being blessed with a very gracious gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could go buy a vintage, a vintage piece. You're only putting money back into the vintage system. You're putting money into the pockets of an investor who bought it lower than that. Is trying to flip
that's
it.
fair.
Like you could take that money and you could put it into the pocket of a small builder who's practicing their craft, and isn't using that money to go flip vintage pieces. So there's a moral dilemma there. There's also the moral dilemma of, should a church actually be buying instruments like that? Wouldn't it be better if they were going to spend that money on an employee, wouldn't it be better to funnel that into a bonus and let them decide what to do with it? There's a lot of ways to look at that. And if you pay the employee that as a bonus, then they're going to pay taxes on it personally. As income.
But this guy's like a volunteer. Like,
he's a volunteer.
That was my
Okay.
understanding, at least, is that he was a volunteer.
They might be looking at it like this guy does so much volunteer work that he might as well. We feel bad that he's not an employee, so let's bless him. Sort of thing.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of it. Like maybe I'm tackling this more intensely than the commenters even would, but there's gifts make me feel self-conscious. And so thinking in that, like especially a generous gift like that.
I want you to say 2 words.
Okay.
Thank
you.
you.
Yes.
You're done.
No, that's our friend's dad, David. He said wise words to us once that is like, if people give you money, say thank you. Like if people give you something, even if you feel like it's too much, if you feel like, oh, this is a lot, just say thank you. Thank you for them. Accepting a gift is as much a gift as giving a gift.
Right.
Is kind of my mentality. If someone wants to give you something, don't push it away. Don't refuse. Like them giving you that gift is a gift to them. They want to do it.
I get what you're saying though. Like, especially in that where like it's a gift that you're getting because you've been a long standing volunteer.
Sure.
Like there's a part of you that's like, well, let me get something that's going to help me be, maybe a better volunteer in the future is the wrong wording, but like that's something that's going to be connected.
It's connected to the spirit of the, why it's being given.
So I think going back to the question,
like, I think it would be rude for that person to go buy something that had nothing to do with what they're doing there. Like they went and ordered that solely heavy metal Mose, right? That I dreamed about.
They're gonna go get like the Gene Simmons Axe bass.
Right. They're gonna get the Devil Lady guitar that's.
The ESP?
The ESP that's carved like a naked devil lady.
Going back to the original question, I think it really depends on the individual. I think, like you said, there's a lot of really good Squires out there. We talked about last week, like the Epiphone Prophecies I've heard are very good. I really need to there's a Guitar Center not too far for me. I need to go to Guitar Center again because I haven't been in one in a couple of years.
I don't think there's been a guitar above $350 that I've run into in, say, the past decade that I didn't think was a giggable guitar that could potentially last you a lifetime. Like, you could argue for mods and things like that. But guitars these days are that price and sometimes even lower are fantastic and absolutely playable. Absolutely, like, you can go your whole life with just that one guitar and it'll work. It'll just work for you. Like, you'll have to do maintenance as you do on everything, but you'd have to do that on an expensive guitar as well. Affordable guitars these days are incredibly well built, especially compared to even budget guitars in the 90s. Definitely.
Budget guitars in the 90s were bad, but there was a lot of stinkers.
But there was also a lot of really bad guitars in previous decades too. I'd say starting in the 2000s is when things started getting really good for budget guitars, and they just seem to keep getting better and better and better. So
it's a bubble. It's going to burst.
Maybe it will.
No, I don't know.
We might see a future where it's like, wow, you really can't get yourself into a decent guitar under, $1,500 anymore. Like this,
but it's going to be a $1,500 Squire.
Right.
Fender Mexican will be $3,000.
Right. And it'll return to all these really weird department store, but it'll be made in some country that hasn't even been formed yet. They're gonna make new land in the middle of the Pacific Ocean out of the garbage pile. They're just gonna compact it all together and start building factories out there and making guitars out of sea trash.
Yeah, I think some of it is it's gonna be very headspace dependent. There's I forget what company it is, but there's some company that's like such and such because only a such and such will do. Like, I don't.
Only
that's like
Gibson is good enough.
Is that a thing Gibson
Maybe.
says?
I don't know.
It sounds like it, right? There's like brands that have that type of slogan.
Maybe Gillette is the best a man can get.
Yeah. And if that's like the headspace that you're in, not because of sloganing or whatever, but because like you got an itch, and no matter how good that Epiphone you bought is, you're always going to wonder like, is the Gibson option better? Then just get the Gibson.
Definitely consumers where their enjoyment of a product, of a guitar playing experience is brand dependent. The hype beasts out there.
Yeah.
Like you feel a sense of pride that you were able to achieve earning the money that it takes to buy something to you that in your youth felt unobtainable. And now you can get it. I completely understand that sense of pride and that sense of aspirational purchasing and things like that. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with spending a bunch of money on a guitar as long as it's not a financial burden to you, as long as it's not financially irresponsible. Go spend your money. There's so many dumb things that we all have to spend our money on every day. Like, spend your money on something that brings you joy, as long as it's financially responsible. Or have fun penny pinching and exploring all, the budget stuff that's out there.
All right. This is a Behringer Super Fuzz.
It sure is, Steve.
For a lot of people who watch this show, for a lot of people who don't watch this show, this fuzz is just fine.
Oh, but like it can be better than just fine.
It's going to do what you need it to do. You can light it on fire, so on and so forth. I think, I don't know, Blake did that at the Tone Mob on TikTok. But, does that mean like everybody should run out and buy a $30 Super? I mean, a lot of people did do that.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean like the $150 version of a fuzz or a $250 version of a fuzz isn't good or better or worse. It's just different. And sometimes I think guitars are like that too. The price points go up, Fender versus Squier, even though they're like the same company, like it's just different, allows them to do different models at different points. I always tell this story.
And there are tangible differences at price points.
Yeah.
Like there's, a guitar that like my Fender Player Plus Strat feels and plays and sounds nicer and better than a Squier Classic Vibe. It just does.
Yeah.
A Squier Classic Vibes are fantastic, but the Player Plus, it's made in Mexico. It's not even USA made.
Yeah.
It feels leagues better.
It's
to
a
me.
plus.
It's a plus. It's got a plus on there. It looks leagues better to me. I enjoy it more than a budget guitar. Do I need it to play like me?
No,
absolutely not.
You'd be fine with the Classic Vibe.
Oh, I'd be great. I'd be great with the
thing we've
Classic
said for
Vibe.
years, and like my experience with Classic Vibes was a little different. I remember I went to Guitar Center. This probably now is 10 years, close to 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Because I think we did have the show. And I played, I think, 4 or 5 different Telecasters. One Classic Vibe, and then I think maybe a 72 Deluxe, which is, I think, an Asian import, Mexican Fender, American Fender. I might have played one other Telecaster, Fender. And the Squier was the best one. It sounded the best, and it felt right.
Best is what you prefer.
So there's sometimes sometimes an instrument that maybe doesn't have the perks that make it a little more expensive. Like rolled fingerboard edges are great, but it doesn't mean every guitar that is a $500 upcharge because it's got rolled fingerboard edges is going to be a better guitar than an instrument without rolled fingerboard edges. Sure. It just means it's going to have that one factor that it will be better in.
The real message here is do what you want, be responsible with your money. Like, don't feel pressured into getting to something that you can't afford or that you don't even want. Let's just get what you want and what you can reasonably afford, responsibly afford. Have fun. It's called playing guitar. You're supposed to have fun. All right,
I think we knocked this out.
Let's do the last ad and wrap this up because this is gonna be a long one.
This is a Fender King, vintage 1960s Fender King, solid body electric. This was a piece together guitar. Someone took a 1960s Fender King acoustic guitar neck and put it on a Music Master type body with a gold finish. The pickup is a Seymour Duncan Antiquities, and it sounds great. Lots of cool, warm vintage tone. Wiring is like a 50s Telecaster.
So I think this is really fun. And I don't hate it at all. In fact, like,
$1,300 is what they're asking.
It reminds me of my Bullet Mustang. The way it's hand painted gold. It's got a funky neck on there. The thing I'm not into is the bridge cover. I can't play with bridge covers because I palm mute right on the saddles. You know, I'm always rolling my hand on and off the saddles there. I think this is because we've seen before people taking the necks off of those old Fender acoustics and putting them on very solid bodies. I think this is the best example I've ever seen. I think this is, I think it works. I think it looks really classy. Even because it has the curved part at the end of the fretboard for the sound hole that you'd find on the acoustic. And it just looks good on here.
Part of what makes it work really well is, I think, because the pick guard is this customized arch.
That arch
shape. I think that arch really, because the round part of the top of the arch matches. I don't know if it doesn't like maybe exactly match.
It mirrors,
but it's a geometric mirror.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good word.
It's a callback. Yeah. And then you get that again with that kind of like kidney bean control plate. And the antiquity pickup that's aged and kind of yellowed, it looks really cool. Like if I was a Fender custom shop guy, I would look at this and be like, there's some ideas that I can work with here.
Okay, something I'm confused about.
Okay.
Is this bridge cover cut?
It looks odd to me. I don't know if it feels like it's homemade. Like I don't know where this came from because it's an odd angle on it, isn't it?
It looks like it's a trapezoidal.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure they're usually not.
No, this doesn't look like an off the shelf part to me. It looks like someone made that.
I understand what you're saying. Like it's kind of in an awkward position, maybe for certain playing positions, but I think it looks good.
Oh yeah, I think it looks really interesting.
I think it fits with the aesthetic. Everything about this is kind of that. I guess now they call it like retro futuristic, right? Where
sure.
It's the Jetsons future.
Yeah. There's so many things besides the bridge cover that I'm not fond of. I think if Fender Custom Shop looked at this like I hinted at and did their own take on this, I think it would have a telly bridge with the telly cover, the bridge cover over it, doing like a no caster sort of thing. But there's so much about this that I really enjoy looking at. I even really like the headstock. And I think it's really fun that it's from the King model guitar and then has that little Elvis sticker on the neck plate. Like,
that's the right amount of Elvis tribute.
It is. Something that's kind of a little funky about this, though, is you've got this neck on this guitar and they're charging, what, $1,300 for this? They're asking $1,300. And I found an ad on Reverb that was a ended listing for a Fender King, a 1963 Fender King. And it sold for $4,000.
No, it ended at $4,000.
It ended. Okay. I'm sure there's cheaper examples of it out there, but I think most of that price of this guitar is the neck because they hint like this it's a style body. It is not actually, what was it? The Music Master body. It is a Music Master style body. So they're not copying to the actual, history or make or model of that body because it's something else. And you can tell it's something else because it doesn't have the routing that a Fender body would have for the control cavity and stuff like that. Who knows the age of the body? We know the age of the neck. It's a 1960s neck. It looks like it's in decent condition. It probably plays and feels really fun. $1,300 though. Like where are you on that?
I just found a Fender guitar vintage rare pre-CBS Rosewood King. So instead of just saying King on the headstock, it says Indian Rosewood King on the headstock for $1,350 on eBay.
That's the complete guitar?
That is the acoustic guitar, and it comes with the case.
All right.
I didn't realize it in this picture. Just
if you can find just someone selling just the neck.
Check out the saddle.
Oh, it's got an adjustable saddle bridge on it.
Yeah.
They're funky, but I bet it works. I mean, it is probably a pretty, like interesting, unique sounding acoustic guitar.
I'm not saying just the neck. I think it's going to be hard to just find only the neck.
Yeah. It makes me think that the neck came into this body because the original body got damaged in some irreparable way. I like that though. I like looking at it. Like this is idea bait. Like this is like vision board stuff. Like the neck heel, the pick guard, the color, the control plate, the headstock. I like it all.
There is a Fender Malibu neck, no tuners, that you can buy for under $400.
All right.
But then you got to go with a different theme. You can't put Elvis on the back. You got to put a little Chevy Malibu on the back. Or you got to put like, I don't know, what else is Malibu? You got to put a Barbie on the back. Right, Malibu Barbie.
Sure. I mean, if it's going to be a Malibu neck, then I'm going to have a wiggle stick on there, and because it has to be a surf guitar, right? I feel like in my gut there's room for if I was going to buy this, I would want to make an offer around $700.
Yeah, I think that sounds fair.
But then another part of my gut is like I admire it so much. I'm just like they should ask what they want to ask.
They can. I mean, they can ask what they want to ask.
They can.
I just don't know if they're going to get a buyer at $1,300.
Sure.
It was listed a month ago.
88 watchers, only 1,300 views.
They're not even taking offers.
They're not taking offers, so they're dead set on that, or they're not going to sell.
Yeah, this is the wife price.
It's tough. It's tough to be able to know, without being able to hold it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like if I could hold it and know how good it felt or how bad it felt, then I would be able to make a decision on what I would feel comfortable paying for it. So without knowing that, I really can't say anything. All right. What do you think, Steve? Have we wrapped it up?
We've wrapped it up.
Which one won? Who's getting the $25 gift certificate this week? We've got the Split 6. We've got the HAWT LICKS Flamey guitar, and we've got the Fender King. I'm going King.
Right, I'm going King.
King got it.
King is king.
Congratulations, Nick Knight.
Yeah, I think that was...
It's rare that the last ad gets it.
That one ended up being a lot more fun to talk about than I thought it was going to be.
Well, I think we got excited about it, especially an hour and 20 minutes into an episode. We still have energy. Second episode of the night, too. And we're like, this is the one. Maybe we're just excited to be done for the night.
Still the one.
I like that little crack in your voice, Steve.
I don't.
Still the one.
This was...
You're like a teenager singing to his girlfriend. We're still having fun, and you're still the one.
That's a different You're Still the One.
Is it?
I was doing Shania Twain.
Oh, wow, you were super off. Okay, sing more Shania Twain for me.
No, I'm good.
I don't even remember how her song went.
No, dude, we used to clown on that song all the time because that's the one that starts, looks like we made it.
Look how far we've come now, baby.
Yeah, that song's called You're Still the One. Anyway, this song is called Sidewinder. It's by RBX, who says, Hi, guys, and thanks for all the great knowledge and laughs. I don't know about knowledge, but okay.
And he's laughing at us. I get it.
Since I joined you a couple of years ago, I'm a retired guitar and bass tech and gigging guitar player. I now record my own band projects in a silent studio setting. Sidewinder is one of them. Here we go. He sent it via Dropbox.
Thank you. Fun little like weird freaky groove there.
Yeah.
Had like some like fun little dissonant atonal like moments that tickle my ear in a fun way.
I think that was the sidewinding part.
Yeah.
It had some like cowboy, like some Southwest vibes to it. I like
But
that.
also some funk.
Yeah.
Had some funk to it. I like the bass line that was in there a lot. Like the right amount of simple and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Keep working on that. Develop that more. Make a bridge or something. Lyrics. I don't know. Or you're done. It's up to you.
Make a bridge. Get over it. I don't know. No, I liked it. I think it was a good piece.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
Stay grounded.